Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, I am the Gnarly Gnome. This is called the Weekly Pint. It's a happy hour. It's not a show. It's an excuse for us to hang out, have a drink together, and I've got a couple good ones to drink tonight, and probably something that is, we're going to call it not so good that I'm going to drink tonight. So I hope you're all ready for that. I hope I'm ready for that. I'm not drinking any kind of Mountain Dew shandies, but I do encourage all of you to tell me what it is you are drinking. And inspired by Chris, who is drinking a Cincy Light Lime Mountain Dew shandy, I'm going to do something like that on the show very soon. We were messaging back and forth the other day, and he was telling me about it. And there is some kind of Applebee's BW3. Somebody is making some kind of Mountain Dew shandy right now in a restaurant, and I'm really curious now how that is and what mixes well with Mountain Dew. It doesn't mix well with Mountain Dew. Very famously, Mountain Dew, the original recipe was designed to go with whiskey. That is not the recipe that we have in our world now, but so I'm curious how well it goes with a lot of things. We'll mix it with some stuff and see what happens, but that's not tonight. Julia says, nice stack of pack techs. Yes. As hopefully some of you guys saw on social, some of us were going back and forth about our pack tech stacks, and I've got a few of them. Let's see. Now I didn't catch what everybody was drinking. I have to scroll back. Okay, Marco's having Cincy Light Lime, but was having Cincy Light Lime, but is now moving on to Truth. Julia is drinking Narrow Path's Polotamavi 12. I don't know how I did on the pronunciation, but it's Czech style amber. Joe is having a Seeing Colors West Coast IPA by, and then there's nothing written. I assume that is some kind of fluke with the chat software. It's by Madry, for anybody that doesn't know. Chris says that the shandy is awesome. Eric just finished a Blossom. All good choices. I'm going to start with a terrible choice before we dig into some lagers, because I've got a few lagers sitting here that I want to possibly drink all of. We'll see. We'll see how it works. But first, we have to do something that's a little different. We're going to break back out the old bucket of mystery. Bucket of mystery. There is all kinds of chaos in here. Can't see me around it. It is so massively miserable. All right. We're just going to dive in here. You guys can kind of, I don't know if you could, or you can see some of the stuff that's in there with the drink cam, but I am going to pick it blindly. I do kind of know a couple of the shapes. I know the big ones are one thing. I know the medium ones are something else, and there's one buzzball in there. So I know the shapes of them, so I'm going to try to reach in and just grab the very first thing that I touch. All right. This is definitely not schnapps. We got the buzzball. I'm going to pick another one just in case, and I'll let you guys pick between them. Ugh. Oh, God. Okay, you guys can pick between these two. I still want to get the cereal milk one. Buzzballs. One of the top-selling booze brands in the country right now, for whatever reason. This is Tiger Stripes Bengals, official Bengals. This is Chili Mango. This is premium tequila and vodka with natural colors and certified color. 15%. Or, if you want something a little different, we've got Big Sips. Big Sips, specifically Purple Punch. Purple Punch from Big Sips. What does that say? 16%? So they're comparable in misery. It says shake well. I don't know why I need to shake it well. I don't see anything like settled in there. All right. Josh is having a truth bomb. Marco says he is going to have a 19.2 truth bomb before the night is over. We'll talk about packaging size today, too. Both of these are small packaging. All right, you guys pick. What am I drinking here? Am I going Big Sips Purple Punch, or am I going Buzzballs Chili Mango for tonight's schnappening? Not a schnapp. Not a schnapp at all. Julia says, "Who day? I need at least 2 people, or if there's 2 different ones, a tiebreaker. I need 1 more to back her up." I think that would be my pick too, but come on, I need 1 more person. Come on. Or else I don't get to drink tonight. I just have to sit here thirsty. I don't even have like a side beer or anything. I do still have a bottle of glazed donut vodka sitting on the Marco says buzz. Buzz balls it is. All right. Back in the bucket. Okay. I got a nice little fancy taster. Seems like the consensus is the chili mango. All right, let's crack this thing open. Buzzballs. I, for the life of me, cannot understand the fascination with buzzballs. I guess they stack nicely in the fridge. The shape is pretty stackable. Other than that, I don't know. Color's great. Looks like a nice Bengals themed drink. I can smell it already. It smells like syrupy candy. I don't smell chili or mango. Maybe it's mango. It's like a mango syrup. Okay, let's see. You know, speaking of Applebee's, this smells like dinner at Applebee's. This smells like some kind of mango chutney or something that's dumped on a piece of chicken and a sweet, fake, sugary cocktail that they have whipped up for you for $1. Let's see. All right. Bottoms up. We are getting so close to Bengal season. So, who day? Okay. Yeah. That's not great. That's those over ice, maybe with maybe some fresh lime juice tossed in there too. I could doctor that up and make it bearable, but it is spicy. The chili is good, but yeah, it's not. This is not what I would call a good drink. This is not something that I find myself like I'm out and about, and I go sit down in my fine cocktail establishment for an evening with friends, and the bartender walks over and, "What can I get you guys?" "Hello, sir. Do you carry any buzz balls?" "Oh, yes, we have." And he pulls out a bucket and pulls out a bunch of buzz balls. "We have these flavors." And then sip on it all night. This is not that kind of drink. This is... Honestly, I don't know what situation you find yourself in that you need to get buzzed on balls. I don't even think that, like... It's not like college kids, right? Like, they're not filling a cooler of buzz balls. It's not like... I have no idea. I would love to find a group of buzzballs consumers and just sit and interview them and figure out when they drink their buzzballs, why they drink their buzzballs. As I'm saying that, I'm a little concerned that technically I'm a buzzball consumer. I have bought several buzzballs and Big Sips and Slamsies. Yes, that's another brand. Slamsies. I've bought many of those. These clapback cocktails. I've bought some of those. I don't buy them because I like them though, so I feel like, I feel like I'm doing it for a different reason. Marco says that's what Braxton's going to do next. Brax balls. Not that I think Braxton is going to make buzz balls. Nothing that a brewery would do these days would surprise me. Nothing. If one of our local breweries said, "Man, like this buzz balls thing is really catching on. we've started making buzz balls. I'm like, oh yeah, oh okay. Obviously, it wouldn't be buzz balls, buzz cubes or something. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me one bit. Josh says Buzzton. Oh, it would be sad. I mean, I don't care about the fact that it's a goofy little ball that you drink out of. I'd buy something good packaged in a ball. I'm not against balls. Balls are fine, but the liquid inside just sucks. I will say this, okay? Out of all of the buzz balls that I've had, this is probably the better of them that I've had. I also, I can't read the date on here. I don't know how old this actually is. Obviously, it's from last season, but it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Marco says, except carbonated water, they won't touch it. Nobody will. Nobody's willing to. But I would buy it if you do. All right. I'm going to try to finish this, and then I'm going to get into some actual beer. Ooh, all right. I think I'm going to hit the wrong button. I don't remember which one's which. Got it. Okay. Oh, that is not fun. I just can't imagine, spending a whole night drinking that. It's not high enough ABV that you can just do shots of it and get yourself wasted that way. You've got to drink it. You have to drink more than one of those things. I don't understand why they exist. I don't understand who's drinking them, where they're drinking it, why they're drinking it. I can tell you though what I've been drinking lately, and that is a ton of lagers because it's lager season. It's been hot and muggy and miserable, and I'll be damned if a good crispy lager just doesn't taste better in that type of weather. And I've had some really great ones, local ones. That's not what I'm going to drink tonight, though. I'm not drinking local at all with my lagers. This was inspired by Sierra Nevada. So before I get into that, though, I'm going to dive into the first one. I have 4 different Pilsners here, or Pilsner-style beers that I'm curious about. Do you guys want me to go borderline not craft, imported, definitely craft, or almost local? Those are the 4 categories. That is borderline, craft versus big beer, imported, definitely craft, or almost local. Those are the 4 ones. Chris says, I went through a 12-pack of High Life this week already. Well, that's because all that Mountain Dew. I am also going to grab a glass here, and I have a wide variety sitting over here to choose from. And I'll explain why. Marco says imported. We're going with this Spaten. Julia says almost local. We'll do that one second then. Imported is first. I think that's also the smallest one. This I picked up at Jungle Gyms. It is called Cerveza Republica Latuya. I don't know what any of that means, except beer. Republic beer, I guess. I don't know what Latuya is, but this is a Pilsner type. Pilsner type beer. And I do like Pilsner types. I don't know if you can see that on there. The reflections might be getting to it. It's a Pilsner type. It is also 330 milliliters, I think. 12 ounces. No, this looks smaller than 12 ounces. I guess not. It is okay. That's interesting. This says it's 12 ounces, but I'm going to give away one of our other beers here. But this is definitely smaller than this 12-ounce can. But they don't look any different. It's got to be a little fatter, but it doesn't look like it. Ooh. Shenanigans. This is also only 3.5% ABV. Oh, here we go. Here's some stuff. This is Spanish. It is imported beer. Thank you. European Economic Community, brewed in Spain. Okay. Consume preferably before. See base of the can. Store in a cool place without aggressive odors and out of the reach of sunlight. Oh, cool. There might be aggressive odors in my house, though. It says it expires 2025, 10/26. Not best before. It expires. Okay. All right, we're going to pour it in this tiny little cup, and I'm going to tell you why. This is one of my favorite mugs to drink out of. It is a 1/4 liter, which is a very strange size, something that you don't see very often. It's like a little under 8.5 ounces, I think. And when I'm sitting and just kind of drinking beer, this is kind of the size that I like. The reason this is interesting is because what kicked off kind of the topic tonight for me was a discussion that's been going on about a Sierra Nevada beer, specifically their premium pills. This is a new release that they've, I don't know how new it is. It's been on draft, I think, for a little while. But they're starting to roll out cans of this beer in select markets. Let me get a sip of this here. It smells kind of like Heineken. Like that touch of skunkiness. All right. Let's see how it tastes. No, that's not skunkiness. Ooh, okay. That's not a bad beer. I mean, it's not a great beer. There is like no hop character at all. It's just kind of just bland, middle of the road everything, but yeah, it's still a good drinker. I could do that. I could drink that. I don't know anything about the brewery, whatever the brewery is called. Is it called European Economic Community? Is that the name of the brewery? Could be. But yeah, it's fine. It tastes like a lot of like when you go to like some kind of restaurant that you're unfamiliar with and you walk in and they don't have any craft beer and it's just a bunch of really random kind of like macros or imports, and so you get something that you've never heard about. That's what this tastes like, because that's kind of what it is. Okay, I got distracted. Sierra Nevada Pills, premium pills. This is different than their other Pilsners that they've released over the years. Stealth says, I'm from the other side of the pond. It's also been a muggy week, but since I'm not at work this week, I've been on a 5-day bender. The only skunkiness I'll accept is in a joint or a blunt, though. Yeah, stay tuned. There is some content coming from this channel about what I call weed water. It's weed liquid. Drinking weed. I'm going to drink some weed and make some content about it. Steve says that's disappointing from Sierra Nevada. The premium pills is disappointing, or this beer specifically was disappointing, because I have not tried it yet. I am curious about it, not because of the beer. No. Steve, no, I have not tried this beer. No, I'm drinking a completely different beer than what I'm talking about. Chris says Mountain Doom. Yeah, stay tuned. There's content coming. This premium pills, the reason I'm talking about it is not because I've tried it. I have not tried it yet. I've read about it, and I'm excited because they're packaging it in these tiny little cans. They are packaging it in 8.4 ounce cans. 8.4 ounces just happens to be the exact same size of my favorite mug to drink out of, a quarter liter. Again, size that you don't typically see. From all of the research that I've been able to turn up about that size, which, yes, I've been doing research about the size. Actually trying to find more glasses is where it started. When I first started thinking about it, it confused me because and I had not connected that I actually usually drink lagers out of this 8.5 ounce mug. I hadn't put that together, but in my head, I was thinking, look, when we're drinking lager beer, we do it out of liters and half liters and maybe a third liter sometimes. We drink them out of big mugs. That's how you're supposed to drink a lager. If you're drinking a Pilsner, maybe you go out of a 16 ounce kind of tall Pilsner glass, and it's fancy and it's cool. Maybe. But again, the more I thought about it, I started to realize that maybe that's not how we should be Excuse me. Buzzballs. Maybe that's not how we should be drinking our Pilsners. And one of my favorite events here in town and kind of drinking experiences that you can have, Kolsch Night. You guys have heard me talk about Kolsch Night a bunch, where you sit all night and you drink Kolsch beer out of 7 ounce glasses, out of 7 ounce Stange glasses. It's German. Germans know a thing or two about drinking experiences and how to drink beer, and it's a great experience. The beer never gets warm. Like, it's always cold. You're always getting fresh, cold beer. It really kind of started to shift how I was thinking about how we should be sitting and drinking lagers. It then kind of went down this really weird, random rabbit hole, kind of looking into historical serving sizes. And somebody online was pointing out that, in a lot of kind of older bars here in the United States, at one point, not that long ago, when you went in, they were served a lot of times in these little glasses. Like, the glasses weren't very big. They were like these little 8 to 10 ounce glasses. This is probably 8 ounces too. Hootie 14K, shout out. Because your beer was cold. It could provide a beer cheaper for people, so you could serve a beer and it would be 15 cents or whatever, and it felt like you were getting this good value. You were getting a good value. And the experience was better. And I was going back and forth trying to figure out how we got away from this idea of drinking things out of smaller glasses. And it's all, in my opinion, it's a couple different things about just ease for a bartender or the rise of 12-ounce cans. And if somebody's coming in a 12-ounce can, you're not going to serve it in an 8-ounce glass. That doesn't make sense for anybody. I want to go back to it. I kind of like this idea of drinking things out of smaller glasses. The rabbit hole kept going deeper, and I kept kind of getting lost in this thing. And I found what I could find in the little time that I've had to kind of dive into this. I think the origins of this specific size, which is in Belgium, and it was called a pintje, which was about a quarter of a liter. And that was how they would serve mostly their lagers, the things that they were drinking that were not the traditional Belgian styles, the kind of the bigger, more flavorful beers. I get it. It makes sense. It makes a ton of sense for me, actually. So when I start thinking about packaging like this Pilsner coming in this little can, much like Little Kings coming in a little can, much like a couple other breweries that have started packaging things in little cans. It makes sense from an experience perspective. It also, for a brewery, the more I think about it, I think it does other things that we don't even realize as we're sitting here consuming them out of these things. It almost reminds me, if I'm served in a smaller vessel like that this is a product that's a little more premium. It's not just some craft brewery cranking out some kind of fake nostalgic lager and pretending that it's something that your grandpa would drink. It feels more it feels better. It feels like a better experience. Stealth says that over there, the average can size is about 15 and a half ounces, but in a pub, it's not much under 20 ounces, for better or worse. I do think it changes based on like beer styles. And don't get me wrong, like a good like lighter lager beer, I'm more than happy to drink it out of a small glass like this, which is what I do at home. Or if I'm sitting in a beer garden somewhere and you give me a liter Stein or a 2-liter boot or something, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to drink it and I'm going to love it. Marco says, so how many in a pack and how much? I would probably want 2 4-packs or 1 8-pack. I would be okay if I got 8 for what retail 6-pack costs. Apples to apples if you need 9 of the 8 ounce to equal the same ounces from a 12. Yeah, I believe they're doing them in 8-packs. I don't know cost off the top of my head, but I imagine it'll be close. And this is not like putting beer in the smaller package is not a move to save money on the brewery's side of things. There's definitely more thought that has gone into this. It's fascinating because we've talked a lot about the 19.2 ounce cans that are kind of extremely popular right now. Not of lighter, easier drinking beers. It's these big, high ABV beers put in big packaging, and that has always seemed backwards to me. But maybe it's not. Maybe the more I think about it, it's not. Maybe the easier drinking stuff or I don't know. I don't know. Steve says that brewers need to adjust their price point if they take this approach. I have a few brewers near me that charge the same price I charge for a pint for a small glass. People notice 100%. Beer in general, we need to find ways to make beer more affordable. I don't want to walk into a tap room or a great beer bar and be spending $8 for a pint of beer every day. Like that's not the experience that we want from going out and having beer. If I could go out and get 8 ounces of beer for $3, I can do that, and I will feel good about drinking it. If you give me, well, you know what though, if it was $4 for 8 ounces of a good beer, maybe I would do it. Yeah, maybe I would do it. I think that could work, which is. Obviously, that's not equal. 8 ounces is not the same as, 2 8-ounce glasses is not really the same as 1 16-ounce glass. Marco says, but you and I do. I don't want to. I don't like it. Doesn't mean I want to do it. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean that's what I want my life to be. All right, let me finish this so we can get into another beer. I'm just very, very fascinated by how the experience relates to the state of beer right now. Steve says they're charging $8 for 8 to 10 ounce glass. I at least pour a full pint. That's rough. I will say, like, if it's a really special beer or something that if it's rare or something that I can justify in my head as being expensive to make, I'll do it. But Marco says I don't want to do it either. I find myself, like, every once in a while, not that often, but I will find myself in a dive bar sitting down, and instead of going for whatever craft IPA they have, I'm grabbing a Cincy Light or something like that and getting it for a cheaper price and just enjoying being able to drink, 3 beers and not having to, spend more than $20 to do it. It's, it used to be that you could go out to almost any brewery and there was always at least one beer that was $5, and you could sit down, you could have a $5 beer and have a couple of them and feel like you weren't breaking the bank. Those days are gone. Whenever I'm somewhere and I see a beer that is like $6, I get excited about that. Chris says I do $3 High Life at Immortal Vibes often. $3 beers I can handle. My go-to non-craft beer is High Life, but I really don't love it. Like I don't think it's that great. it's fine. I find myself more often than not, if I'm in that situation, I'll just drink half as much beer and spend more. Or like you mentioned, getting a pour of bourbon of something you're curious to try. I'm also a cocktail fan, and at a lot of those bars, like Immortal Vibes, they've got a good cocktail list, and I'll just grab a cocktail, something that I can sit and sip on, and I don't know why I feel better about spending more money on a cocktail than I do a pint of beer, but I do. It's a good beer. For what it's supposed to be, I'm going to call that good. If you filled up a cooler of those and got them real cold and put me out in the sun, sitting on a patio or by a pool or something, I could be pretty happy with that. I don't remember how cheap it was, but I feel like this was like $1.50 or something. Especially at 3.5%. Yeah, like that's pretty good. Chris says you're paying for the labor with a cocktail. Yes, I agree, but you're also paying for labor with a beer in a different way. Let's see. Man, I'm burpy. Steve says it'll be interesting to see if beer rebounds as a value drink while inflation hits. Typically has gained market share during price pressures. However, now we have to deal with THC. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think we're seeing it, and I think we're seeing breweries find ways to let it have its place as a value drink while holding some of their beer to a higher standard. I mean, we're seeing it with the rise of light lagers in craft breweries. They're using those as their value option while they still kind of keep their other beers at a higher price point. Not that all of those light beers are as value as they should be, but we're seeing it a little bit. Ben says, for a good lager, I still find Hofbrauhaus Original Leader hard to beat. It is hard to beat as far as like a great German lager. I typically like something with a little bit more, hops to it, usually depending on how I'm drinking. So I like a Pilsner more than just kind of the traditional lager at Hofbrau. With that being said, I still love like a good Helles lager, something that kind of leans towards the maltiness just a little bit. As I've probably said a bunch of times on this or other stuff that I do, I am definitely a sucker for a slow pour Pilsner at any one of the places that are putting them on. Just for the fact that it kind of breaks down some of that carbonation and makes it easier to put back a whole bunch of them. Stealth says that right now I'm mixing spiced rum with stout. I think it works, but I was wasted when I started making these. You know what? I don't know that sounds bad at all. Spiced rum and stout. Um, yeah, I might have to try that sometime. That might not be too bad. I guess it depends on the stout. It depends on how roasty the stout is. If we're talking Guinness, I think I might disagree. But if we're talking like a good like roasty stout, I think that there's something to that. Chris says, I always ask the bartender to make me what their favorite thing to make is. I like that. I like when I trust a bartender enough when I walk in to make me something, just depending on what they are in the mood for or what they think I'm in the mood for. Marco says, I have lots of thoughts, but I will save them for the pod. All right. Marco says, I will ask Julia Rose to post the pod link so I don't post the wrong one. That's safe. Time for another beer. All right, so somebody else picked the kind of local. So we'll go with that one next. This is Gestalt. This is from Jack E.O.'s. This is their crispy German-style Pilsner. This is their out of Athens, which I think is close enough. This was canned on 6/13, so about a month old. I don't even know. Julia says, are you saving enough to cuvee them all at the end? You know that I am. Right there. It's 8.5 ounces. You know it'll work. I don't know the last time I've had a Jack E.O.'s beer, but man, I love Jack E.O.'s. All right. German Pilsners. I don't know if I've really ever done. I've done Pilsner shows, right? Like I've talked about the difference between different styles of Pilsner. German Pilsner leans a little bit more towards the hops. Now, when I say hops, we're not talking hops like an American IPA. These are German noble hops, so a lot of earthiness, spiciness, some floral notes, grassy kind of stuff. That's noble hops. Little bit of a hop snap, but not like an over-the-top like bitterness compared to Helles Lager. I guess on top of that, now we have to start talking about American Pilsners or West Coast Pilsners or whatever people are calling them. And that's where we're adding a little bit more traditional American hops to give it more of a hop snap. Stealth says, not sure if you have Murphy's there, but I mixed that with spiced rum called Kraken with cherry vanilla. It's pretty decent, but I thought of mixing it because I had them. I was like, yeah, we've got Murphy's around. I think that could work really well. I don't have any Murphy's in the house right now, or else I would try it. I don't think I have any Murphy's. No, I don't. Marco says that's clear beer with a nice head. That it is. That's the way a good Pilsner should be. Okay. A good foamy head too. Like it's just sticking to everything. And all right. Get my nose in here. Oh yeah. It's crackery with that good like floral, spicy kind of German hop aroma. Like that's what I think of when I think about sitting around and drinking like just good German beer. Something that you just want to. Not only do you want to sit and drink it all night, but you want to eat with it. You want to have like a big plate of like meat and cheese, and oh man. Stealth says that German beer gets a very good reputation here too. Started off drinking a couple of random IPAs. One of those was Spaghetti IPA. Thought, how weird. Got to try that. There is nothing wrong with that too. Like weird is fun. It's supposed to still be fun. Like beer is not wine. It's not like people sitting around just sniffing their beer and talking about weird little flavor notes they get and where it was grown and whatever. Beer is about the experience of drinking and doing it with people, and the Germans are great at that. But if you see like a beer on a shelf that either makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you kind of curious, makes you want to share it with somebody and talk about it with somebody. Like that's a good side of it too that needs to be embraced more. Okay, let's get into this. Yeah, man. Oh, it tastes like summertime. Yeah, it's very similar to the other one, except there's that good finish to it. Like it just finishes with a little bit of like a. I hate calling it like a bitterness because that just doesn't really kind of express what it is. When I say bitter, I think people are thinking like IPA bitter, and that's not this. It just it's balanced. Like there's like a really great sweetness to it, a really fun crackery kind of malty bread thing, but then that really fun hop finish. Chris says that he looked and it was B-Dubs doing the Mountain Dew Shandy, FYI. I might go to B-Dubs to try that. I don't want to give too much away because we're still a week away from when all of this kind of debuts. I'm putting the finishing touches on a huge project that I've talked about a little bit, where I am finding the best wings in any brewery here in town. So all breweries, wings. I went to all of them that have wings. There's a spreadsheet involved, and it's been a really kind of insane process. But we're done with the actual like research side of it. Now I'm putting together, writing the blog post and putting together the YouTube video, which is almost done. I have 2 more things that I need to film, and I'm hopefully filming them both tomorrow. And then we'll hopefully get the editing. When I say it out loud, it makes me feel like it's impossible. I'm hopefully going to finish the editing on Wednesday. I'm going to spend as much time on Wednesday getting it done as possible so that hopefully I can get it uploaded on Thursday so that Nomies can get it on the weekend, and then the actual debut will be on Tuesday. Hopefully, as long as all of those things fall into place the way they're supposed to. It'll be on Tuesday. That's when it debuts. Not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. Stealth wants to know if I like Weiss beer. Man, I like all beer. There's not like a lot of drinks that I don't like unless they come in little packaged balls like this. I don't like these, or glazed donut vodkas. I don't like that crap. But yeah, I like Weiss beer. Chris says I don't go to B-Dubs. I can make better wings at home. I agree. Here's my thing with wings. Like I can make great wings at home, but it's time consuming. It's a pain in the butt, and sometimes I just don't want to cook. So I like going out for wings, and you can still find relatively reasonably priced wings that are great around town. So I will get wings when I'm out, probably more frequently than I get almost anything else when I go out, because I love wings that much. With that said, I don't even know the last time that I went to B-Dubs and ate wings. It's been a long time because their wings are not very good anymore. But maybe I'll do it. And maybe I'll record a part of the wings video at B-Dubs. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. It seems kind of mean to them because their wings aren't good. Chris says, I just use an air fryer. Yeah, air fryer, that's fine. You can make fine wings in an air fryer. But maybe that's my problem too, is that when I'm at home, if I'm making wings, I want to go all out on them. I want to smoke them, and I want them to be like the best wings that I can possibly make. Maybe that's it. they're also just they're just a pain. They're a pain. I don't love making wings at home. I love the way they taste. I just don't love making them. I don't love the process. When I can just walk into a wings place and order them, and then like 5 minutes later, there's a whole big basket of wings sitting in front of me. That's fun. The Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News says B-Dubs is terrible anymore. Glad to see it's not just here. Chris says, yeah, smoked. I'm not there yet. Yeah, to me, that's the way to do it. Now you have to, okay. Marco says, let's do a Cincy Wings cast and talk about cooking wings. That's where we're going to go right now as I finish this beer before we get into the next one. Smoked wings are the best, in my opinion, with one caveat to that. You can't just smoke them and be done, that I have found. I know that there's some people that use this 0 to 400 thing and all that. That's fine. I've never been able to get enough crisp on the skin without doing something else. So my new technique right now, and I've only done this once this summer. We tried this, or I tried this, just to see how it turned out. You smoke them first. Then, Chris says smoke them fried. That's a great way to go. But again, if you're cooking them yourself, way more effort than it's worth. I'll pull them off the smoker and then throw them onto the Blackstone for just a couple minutes, just to get a little bit of that crisp on the skin. And then I'll sauce them while they're on the Blackstone too, and kind of let it caramelize just a little bit. Pull them off, hit them with a little more sauce. To me, that's the way to go. But smoked and fried, if you're talking about a restaurant, I think that is the best way. Smoked and fried, so good. So freaking good. You also got to brine them ahead of time. There's way too many dry, crappy wings out there. Throughout this whole wings thing that I've been doing, I've found some miserable wings around that people should be ashamed to be serving people. And there's a whole lot of places that you wouldn't expect that their wings are going to be good, that they were really good, or at least solid wings. I'll call them. Chris says yes, caramelize the sauce. There's so many little things that you can do to make great wings. Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News says B-Dubs used to be a go-to in college 30 plus years ago. They've gone to hell as the years have gone on. Yeah, I remember B-Dubs being great, and when I think about how long ago it was, it makes me feel old because the math doesn't add up. I'm not old enough for it to be that long, so it is kind of strange though how they've kind of dropped off that cliff. A lot of this is another project that I'm working on, a podcast about mediocrity, and kind of about, if you follow Drinking with the Gnome, the Substack, there's been kind of a series of posts about places like Applebee's. There was one about Blue Moon. I think there was another one already. There's one coming too. I don't know. I can't keep track of anything. But it's all about this idea of these things that are kind of just middle of the road, and they're not good. And why do they still exist? Why do they exist in the first place? And I think that it's opening the door to other types of places to be very successful now that you can go to B-Dubs and the wings suck and it's kind of expensive and it's not fun to be there. It makes people not want to go there, and their next choice is hopefully going to be somewhere that's a better choice for everybody. Chris says, I remember going to B-Dubs after a softball game and they were out of wings. We looked at them like they had two heads. Yeah, I get that during COVID or something, maybe you ran out of stuff and it was weird. Of course, and maybe right after COVID, supply chain and things were strange. But you can't run out of wings if you're a wings place. Steve says they're now owned by Arby's. Yeah, I've never had a bad experience at Arby's. I don't go there that often, but Arby's is always great. I don't know how you screw up roast beef. I mean, that's probably part of it, but even their chicken and their chicken sandwiches are great. What do they have? They have that it's like a chicken bacon and Swiss or something. That's Arby's, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Yeah, the roast beef is great. You can't mess it up. Marco says that Chili's is having a moment. They're up over 30%. Yeah, since to last year, and since COVID, up crazy. Yeah, there's a couple places that are like that are kind of thriving after all of this. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple more kind of start to have that resurgence. Meanwhile, you've got places like Red Lobster that are bankrupting themselves from all-you-can-eat shrimp. And Julia says that's what I had for lunch. Arby's chicken, bacon, and Swiss. It was a good sandwich, right? What, did you have a bad experience? Because I've never had a bad experience with Arby's. Chris says B-Dub's largest expense is probably paying the licensing on all of the TVs. Yeah, probably. And I have not been there to tell you even what that looks like now. Maybe like it isn't that you can't get every game there now. You go in and it's just ESPN the Ocho playing. I don't know. I'm talking too much and I'm not finishing my beer. I think that I think the future of food is better than it's ever been. And I say that knowing that things are super expensive right now, knowing that everybody is kind of feeling that pinch in their discretionary spending. But anecdotally, take it for what it is, it feels to me like when people are going out, they are much happier going out and spending money at places that resonate more with what I want people to be spending money on. You know, it's mom and pop shops, it's locally owned places, it's better food, better experiences, places that hopefully treat their employees better. It's not the crappy fast food places. Chris says it actually costs me less to eat out right now. Yeah, it's definitely been expensive eating out for me. And there's lots of reasons for that. My kids are bigger. They eat more now, which there's nothing more frustrating than taking your kids out somewhere where they get like a $10 thing of chicken fingers and then don't eat it because then they decide they're not hungry anymore. That's frustrating. When we could just go home and I make you nuggets. Why'd you get anything? Alex says that purpose matters. I think that two words to say that doesn't put it into perspective enough. Purpose is everything. I wish that more people, myself included, spent more time thinking about that day to day and all of the little decisions we make. Too often I have walked in somewhere and grabbed a burger to go and at a fast food place or something. And I've been pretty good about it this year of not doing it. But like, when, if my kids are hungry and they need a Happy Meal, like I don't care getting them a Happy Meal, but I would be happier getting them their Happy Meals, bringing it home, sitting down, letting them eat their Happy Meals, me cooking something myself. I would feel better about that than I would buying a McDonald's cheeseburger, which is not that great anymore. But I would feel the best about bringing them to a place that is locally owned and sitting down and all of us eating there together and having an experience together and eating something that feels good. We've been good about it this year. We've very consciously so, but not as good as I would like. And like I think about it too, like in other ways, like I'll find myself like in a store buying something, and then I start looking around and I'm like, oh man, I'm at like, Meijer or Walmart or somewhere, and I'm like, this is something dumb that I could have bought somewhere else. Like I could have bought this anywhere, batteries or something like that. Like, I could have gone anywhere. Like why did I go here and not somewhere where I feel a little better about shopping? Chris says there are only 2 of us at home, so to get all the ingredients, I have to buy large packages. Yeah, with the amount of some things that we buy. My kids eat a lot of strawberries is their biggest thing that gets under my skin. Not that I care they're eating strawberries. I guess that's kind of healthy. That's healthy. There's probably a lot of sugar in fruit. I don't know. They go through a lot of strawberries all year long. And the amount of money that we spend on strawberries alone, if I added it up over an entire year, would probably make me sick to my stomach. That's my guess. And pancakes. Dear God. Not like homemade pancakes. The boy, the younger one, he eats so many pancakes that we get frozen pancakes. It's these big packs of frozen pancakes that you throw in the microwave and heat them up for 1 minute and 15 seconds. And then he just shoves them down his throat. And then he goes, I'll take some more. And you have to make more. And he shoves those down. He'll sit there and he'll eat like an entire thing of pancakes in a day. It's a little nuts. Do what you got to do with kids, I guess. Chris says $55 to make a shepherd's pie tonight. I feel that. Like, there's times where, like, I'll, like, see, like, a fun recipe online or something. I'm like, I'm going to make this. Like, tonight, we'll make the kids whatever they want. But, honey, me and you, I'm gonna make you something fun. And then I'll run to the store, and I'll get all the ingredients. And then, like, at the end of the night, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right, like, I got a bottle of wine, and I got all the ingredients to make this meal. And I got us like a fun little dessert. And I spent $100 for dinner. Like, here the whole point of like eating at home is supposed to be to save money, right? It doesn't always work out that way when you're cooking for just like 1 or 2 people. And my kids won't eat anything. Unless the big fancy meal is chicken nuggets. All right, we have... I don't know if I'm going to get through all 4 of these beers. We're already like at our predicted time. We're going to do, we'll try. This is Side Pool. It's a collaboration between Bierstadt, Lagerhaus, and Fair State. I've seen this around a bunch. I've seen it on tap, and I have never tried it. We'll see how good it is. Chris says just shotgun them. Yeah, I'm not big on like shotgunning and chugging, and I get the fun of it, but then we got to cuvee them at the end. I had 6 lagers that I was planning on featuring at some point, but I decided that was way too many. So I drank some of them. Margaret says that's going to be great. Again, looks great. Chris says I don't get the fun of them. There is something about like the, I'm going to call it camaraderie or spectacle or something like that of, a drinking experience like a beer bong or a shotgun, a beer, or chugging a beer or something. That's fine. Like, I'm not against it, and I don't judge people, but I just don't drink fast. Like, I'm a slow drinker, and I get too gassy afterwards if I'm chugging something. It's just not fun. I don't enjoy that. All right, this is Side Pool. Again, I believe Pilsner. This is a 4.1% Czech-style pale lager, technically. Not a Pilsner. I messed up my whole theme here. It is a bitty little 10 degrees Plato Czech-style lager. Crisp, malty, soft, and crushable. Even the way they describe it sounds great. Also, great artwork on that. Well, well done. Great um, homage to the side pool faucet, the slow pour that I'm pretty sure was invented by Bierstadt. I don't think anybody was really doing slow pour pilsners until they kind of started it, at least intentionally. Mm. Oh hell yeah! Way more like there's almost like a biscuity thing, not not over the top, but it's there. Way different malt character than the other ones. Um, ooh, oh, that's good. Yeah, I could. God, I just every time I sit and I have a great lager beer, it just reminds me why I love a great lager beer. Like I have a lot of other beer styles in the house. Um, I have a lot of sour beer. I a lot of fruited sours from Urban. A lot of them. It's gotten a little better now that they switched their club up, but there's still a lot of sour beer in the house. And so when I'm at home, I drink a lot of fruited sours. I drink a lot of pale ales, like a lot of IPAs, a lot of dark beers. And usually when I drink lager, it's when I'm out or like when we on the weekends when we're going somewhere. I don't just like sit at home and just drink like a beer like this, and I don't know why. It's so good. I have a theory that this is not an original theory by any stretch. That lager Pilsner especially Pilsner was kind of the pinnacle of beer technology and what beer is supposed to be. Beer was constantly changing and evolving until it became this thing, this beautiful thing that is Pilsner, traditionally brewed Pilsner. And then it went downhill and became light American lager and all of that crap that is out there. If you're making a good light American lager, I'm not calling your beer crap. I don't mean it that way. I've had them and they're fine. But it's not as good as Pilsner. And I don't know how you can possibly top this from like a technology perspective, a flavor perspective. I get that there are different beers with different flavors, but this is just, it's perfect balance. It is a perfect beer. Not specifically, this is the perfect beer. This style is the perfect style. Let's put it that way. Oh, man, it just. Mm. It helps too, or doesn't help, that there are so many poorly done Pilsners and um, light golden lagers. It seems like there's a lot of people that are eager to put them out, even if they can't do it well. And I don't know why you, as a business, would be okay with that. If you have something and you see the people making this thing, and you try and you taste it, and it's not the same thing, why would you feel the need to do it? You can make a whole bunch of ales that are going to taste way better and make people just as happy. Don't don't put out a bad pilsner or a bad lager beer. Just don't do it. Save all of us the save all of us the misery. Mm. Okay, that was good. That's the star so far. I've never had this. Yingling Pilsner. Yingling Golden Pilsner. It is refreshing and smooth beer. Whatever. I don't hate Yingling at all. Politics aside, I believe that they are a little political in nature. Um, America's oldest brewery, thanks to an ice cream business, I believe, through Prohibition. That's a good-looking beer. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't live to be how many 100 and something years old, 150? I don't even know. 6 generations of brewing. It doesn't tell me anything else about it. Nor does it have a date on it. That's fine. Yeah, look at that beer. That is a thing of beauty. I need a light that kind of shoots like this way, like through the beer. So when I put it on the drink cam, you can see how gorgeous it actually is. All right. Also, I think the drink cam should probably be zoomed in a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Not getting a lot out of that aroma-wise. When I smell a beer and I don't get a lot of aroma, in my mind now, I freak out. It reminds me of having COVID. Anytime I smell a beer and I'm like, I don't smell a lot. Holy shit, I might have COVID. I don't, but at least I hope not. See if I taste anything. I do, and it's not great. I mean, no, it's not great. That's not a Pilsner. That might be old, actually. Make sure I'm not missing a date somewhere. How are we not dating cans if you're a brewery the size of Yingling? That's upsetting. It's fine. It's just kind of lackluster. There's not a lot of flavor to it. The hops are completely either gone or never existed. Not a Pilsner. I will say it. Like it's a lager, some kind of an American lager, but not a Pilsner. That was a bad one to end with. It's not like it makes me like mad drinking. It's not bad. If I was in a bar somewhere drinking, it'd be fine. Or if somebody handed it to me at their house or something, I'd be fine. But after all of those other great beers, it's just meh. It's just kind of like just missing a little bit of personality, a little bit of character missing. I don't know. It just tastes better in the summertime. Lager is just, it brings me like a joy that I don't know how to like communicate to you. Lager is, it's like, it's all about balance. Pilsner specifically, it's all about balance. It's, you know, the perfect interplay of hops and yeast and water and malt. And Stealth says, you do need to be careful because no date means that either it was released before it was mandatory to print the date or the date is hidden well, which is more likely. There is no requirement for people here in the United States to print dates on their beer. Some places just don't date their beer. Or some places will put it on like the outer packaging. So if you buy a single can of something, which is what I did, you lose the date and you don't know when it was released. It's also not going to hurt you. Steve says, you said it perfectly before, it tastes like sunshine. Where I was kind of going with that, though, is that it is, it's all about balance. And to me, it balances perfectly like my desire to drink a beer that makes me think about things. It makes me appreciate the flavors that are in front of me. But I also just want to drink sometimes. especially in the summertime. I spend a lot of time hanging on patios, smoking cigars, hanging out by the pool, like things where you don't necessarily want to think about the things you're drinking. This is the perfect balance of it. Like it just sits right in that sweet spot between that and this, sitting and sipping on something and kind of picking it apart. It's perfect. It is perfect. And I've kind of wavered on that a little bit from time to time and kind of try to figure out what my favorite styles are and stuff. It always kind of comes back to Pilsner as far as appreciating what a beer is. There are other things that I love to drink, but Stealth says it would be more interesting if they printed the date on the inside of the can or bottle, so at least there is an answer at the bottom of the bottle. There's always some kind of an answer at the bottom of the bottle. Just doesn't always answer the question that you're actually asking. All right, we're going to... Okay, that's low enough. We can cuvee this. All right, we have however much that is of Yingling. All right. What do you do when you're at the bottom and you have other drinks? You cuvee them. We'll give a good healthy pour of the side pool because that one was really tasty. That looks pretty good. And then we'll go some Gestalt. About there. We'll go our Republica. Man, I'm burping like crazy now. Got a little more side pool because it was really good. And then my instinct right now as a podcaster or whatever this is to add that in there. I don't want to, though. All right, somebody's calling. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the Weekly Pint. Who is this?
Hey, hello. Hey. So long time caller, first time listener. This is Marco.
What's up, Marco?
What's up, buddy? Hey, you're conveying everything. I can see it on the screen. I got it up on the TV.
I'm currently having a mental conundrum of, do I add the buzzball? Is that the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, but you can do whatever you want. It's your show.
So then
I wouldn't.
Then I'm gonna drink some of it this way, and then I'll add it afterwards.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you though. So, since we were talking about like consumer trends, going to tap rooms versus picking up 6-packs and all this, and I know you bought all these.
Oh, that's great.
All these lagers to have here. So I know that you enjoy a lager, pool day outside on a cigar, at a smoking meat at a strip club, or all these things. I get you like those things, but how many 6-packs of lager or 12-packs of lager are you actually bringing home? Like, is this I know you have refrigerators with
I hesitate,
like peasant beer for people that come over, but do you really buy 6-packs of lager?
No. Most of the beer that I consume at home is single cans of stuff that is just rolling through the house because I need to take pictures of it and take notes about it. That's the majority of the drinking that I do at home. There is, like you mentioned, there's the garage fridge that has beer for other people that we also consume from time to time, a lot of times. But like,
it happens.
But like, I'm not like, I don't like stock my fridge with beer that I want to sit and drink because I don't really just like sit and drink at home anymore, or like right now through this period of what my life is. I'm not doing that. And if it's a weekend and we're headed to the pool or something like that, we're stopping somewhere and we're grabbing a 6-pack right then, throw it in the cooler, and it's never making its way home. It's gonna be gone before we get home. So not much.
Right.
Like I'm really not buying a lot of lager. I mean, that's not true. I'm buying a lot of lager. I'm not bringing a lot of lager into my house.
So you're saying when you stop at a place, lager is a go-to?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I would say 50% of the time, if I'm stopping for a 6-pack or a 12-pack of something that I'm going to be drinking that day, it's probably a lager.
Okay.
The other half
Very
is
good.
probably some kind of a fruited something. Big fan of like
a fruited something.
Fruited wheat beers. Something like that.
Okay.
That's my
Very
speed
good.
too. But that's not to say that there isn't lager beer in my house, but not as much as I want. Like I would love, and like the problem is that I just don't spend that much time here sitting down and drinking. Like if I'm here, it's either because I'm working or I'm doing family stuff or mowing the grass or whatever the hell needs done. I'm not like just hanging out here. Like usually if I'm free, I'm going somewhere else. There's things that I need to go and do somewhere else. So I go drink there.
So like, let's pretend you're mowing the grass, you got a cigar.
Okay.
Is it a lager? Is it a lager in the koozie, in the cup holder, in the whatever it is for your mowing scenario?
This is going to be really disappointing. I have switched my mowing methods. I mow with a walk behind mower now. I'm pushing the mower. I don't do the riding mower.
Okay.
I have not used my riding mower all year.
So it's manual.
Yeah. So I'm not drinking while I'm mowing anymore. I'm drinking after I mow.
Oh man.
And in that case,
but do you make up? So let's say it took you an hour to mow. Do you drink an hour longer because you didn't have that hour that you would have drank before?
Look, I mean, the entertainer side of me wants to say, yeah, of course I do. No, I do the same thing. I go and I grab a Cincy Light out of the garage fridge and I go upstairs and take it in the shower with me and drink it in the shower, and then that's it.
Hell yeah, shower beers. Where are those posts on 513? I haven't seen them yet.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the
truth. Okay. Well, very good.
It's there's a whole side of what I do that I think is hard for a lot of people to kind of understand.
In the shower?
No, they understand that. You got to scrub the balls, got to scrub the bottoms of your feet.
Okay.
Things that
Gotcha.
get real stinky.
Very good. Very good.
That's all I scrub in the shower: balls, bottoms of the feet.
You've got good enough balance to where you don't have to hold on to the sides when you do your feet.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, there's a little bar in there that I can hold on to.
Oh, so you are holding on. You don't have the balance.
I don't know that I need to, but I feel like I should.
Okay, very good.
Right? Like
we want to keep you around.
Yeah,
so
you got to be careful. I don't want my family to have to come save me naked in the shower. The idea of like running a beer blog or podcasts or YouTube channels and stuff, like I do drink frequently, and so like this idea that when you come home and you drink recreationally is very different for me, I think, than a lot of people realize it is. Like I don't just like come home after work and crack open a beer and put my feet up. That doesn't really happen for me that much. Like I don't like just hang out and drink. Usually if I'm drinking, it's when I'm out somewhere trying to, either write about something or create some kind of content or do something. those are the times that I'm drinking. Most of the time.
Okay.
Otherwise, like if it's a weekend and we're sitting around the pool, like I'm probably only having 1 or 2 beers. And I feel bad saying that out loud because I get it. There's a expectation I think people have.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, maybe some people have that expectation. I mean, I don't necessarily have that expectation of you. And
you also know me, like we're friends
right.
outside of this phone call. It's you know me, so
Yes.
that's different than most people that consume the content that I create.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I get that. So, but as far as let's
butt, you're right.
Back
I do scrub that too. I do scrub my butt, for the record. Balls, feet, butt.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Circle it back. We'll get back to lagers and what you were conveying and all that other stuff.
Let me ask you a question.
Yingling,
let me ask you.
Okay.
Lagers. So, and we'll specifically go lighter lagers because I know you're a huge fan of dark lagers like Schwarzbier. Lighter lagers. So like Helles, Pilsner, American Lager. We'll call West Coast Pilsner a thing, which is not, but we'll call it a thing. What is your favorite lager style?
So I thought about this kind of even this morning because I was listening to you on the Blake's Brewery Explorer podcast, and you were talking about how there were some beers or even styles where diacetyl is actually acceptable, right?
Yeah.
So I hearken back to when I was at BC's and they got a keg of Pilsner or Kel, and you could just pick out the diacetyl.
Yeah.
It was like, my God, and yes, I mean, I had some, and
look, I'm an
it?
ESB fan. If you want some good diacetyl beers, go to the English.
Shit. It's like, did I love it and did I not like it? Yeah, both in the same, in the same taste. But I respect it for what it is, and it can have, whatever level of diacetyl it has in it. It's earned that. It is history, right? But if anybody in Cincinnati wanted to recreate that and put the diacetyl in it, we would just, we would kick them out of the yard. That would not be acceptable. So, I mean, even like the Kolsch that is in packaged from Germany. I forget the name of it.
Reisdorf, and what's the other one?
I remember. It's got diacetyl, and it's fine in that form, but we cannot. Northern Row cannot do that,
right?
And serve Kolsch and be okay. I mean, we can't do that.
I think that in context, with Blake, we were
that
talking.
That picture of me is awful.
that's the one that I have in the little thing. That's all I've got.
That's fine. It's awful because I have like 16 chins. But anyways,
you don't
not wrong. It's just not flattering.
But send me a better headshot, and I'll put it on there, man. I'll put it in the file.
I'm going to get a glamour shot this Thursday. No, I've got an appointment this Thursday, glamour shot. Sure.
I think in the context of with Blake, we were talking about English beer specifically, right?
We were. You were, not we. You were. Yes, correct.
That part of it fascinates me so much about it, like because ESB is a style that was created by Fuller's. They made it up. It was their beer. They made the style. And the style definitely has some diacetyl and some other flavors that we would consider off flavors. And so, like, when an American brewer makes an ESB, it's never an ESB because they're not putting those things in there because they don't want to.
Right.
That fascinates me.
Well, but the other thing is when you say don't want to, the things that you need to do to put it in there actually can harm the brewery.
Sure.
So they just don't. Like, I mean, any of those off flavors can have cascading effects to where that's the way it is forever.
Right.
And no clean brewer is going to do that. And so, I mean, it's just, they can live on their own pedestal.
But it's
it's
interesting that
thing.
Like, you can take a beer style and say, that this is the beer style. And you can definitely do that because you create your own beer style. But then because of that, nobody will ever make that beer style the exact same way.
Right.
It's that whole idea. Yeah. It's cool stuff.
Not going to touch it. I mean, we can in the style of, but
right.
not going to make that happen. I mean, but for me, I don't know, man, for a Pilsner and crispy Pilsners and stuff like that, for me, I mean, it's tough. I love Pilsners. You and I have been showing up on a Tuesday for a couple of years now, and the first thing I get is a German Pilsner
right.
on a Tuesday. Now, number one, I'm not a fan of the price. It is what it is. We're paying for it. Number two, depending on the brewery that is on the handle, it could be better than another one, or not better than another one, whatever. But it's still a good representation of a Pilsner. The next thing is, who's doing it locally that I love, that I want to have. And from that, am I grabbing anybody's packaged beer?
Right.
The answer is the answer to the latter is no. I'm not grabbing anybody's packaged Pilsner. I am going hard at picking up IPA. I am picking up specialty, seasonal release IPA. If I want to grab something super light, I will try and go local. But I am not a habitual light lager shopper. I'm just not.
Yeah, and I'm not either. And but I'm sitting here drinking these beers, and especially like the side pool and like the Gestalt from Jackie O's. Like, I'm drinking these, and I'm like, man, these are this is the beer that I want to be sitting and drinking. Like, if it's like a random, Thursday night or something, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna put on something on TV, and I'm gonna have a beer. This is what I want to drink.
So the side pull, I am gonna look for it at my local liquor store, and they might have it.
I've seen
I'm
it.
Gonna look for that.
It's definitely around.
And if they have it, I'm going to buy it. Now, does that mean like crap, like a light beer slut or anything? No, no. But I'm looking for a really great representation of what that style is,
Yeah.
and so I'll seek out the best, right? And I think that's what, that's what we as craft beer drinkers are looking for, is like, we are willing to pay a premium for what we feel is worth it, or what we have been told before we try it is a great representation of what we want to drink.
But
the then
problem
from there,
the problem is that craft beer drinkers have like shifted away from like that idea and kind of started to settle into like habits and like, yeah, that's cool, and like I have a fun time drinking new beers, but that's just when I go to the store, here's what I get, and they get the same thing, and like it's like we've lost that adventurous kind of thing on the.
But that's because they are not willing to, or they have not understood that the grocery store is trying to tell them what they want.
Not trying. It is telling people what they want, especially if you shop at certain grocery stores.
But what they need to know is that, the variety that's out there is available. You just need to go a little bit out of your routine to go and get it. And I think that's what we as craft beer enthusiasts need to know, is that, you either need to go out of your routine to get what you actually have as far as variety available to you, or what, the experiences. It's the Jungle Gyms effect,
right?
Like when everybody wants to get creative at home, and they want to be like, oh, let's make a recipe that we saw that Jamie Oliver fucked up with, chili jam or whatever, or Gordon Ramsay did. We'll go to Jungle Gyms. It's fun. It's an experience, and when people come into town, we'll trick them with going into a porta potty restroom, but it's really fantastic. You go there, but you also have all this other stuff available to you. Well, what's weird is that it used to be that would be the place to go for craft beer, but I mean, so much not fresh craft beer on the wall, so not the best place, but it's a good apples to apples comparison for food. Go to other craft beer bars or other places, or you can even go to Jungle Gyms. It's fine. Like mass produced or available beer, you can go there, and then what you have is a bevy of options, and so you do that versus like Kroger, which is shrunk them, and so you have a terribly small availability of what's available in package at Kroger versus, let's say, Jungle Gyms, and then you can go there. That'd be great, and then you can go to your.
Well, you almost have to
go to your.
You almost have to. You've got to force yourself. You've got to like,
and then you can. And then you can pick your places and say, I love stuff from XYZ brewery. I'm just going to go get it from them.
Right. But like the idea of like being adventurous and trying new things. Chris made a comment, and he said that he's done seeking things now. There's just too many. He knows what he likes more often than not. And I get that. And I feel that. Like I could if I walk into a Kroger that has a limited selection of beer, I can look at it and be like, all right, out of all of this, I know that this is a beer that I'm going to enjoy. I can put it in my cooler, take it to the pool, or I can put this in the fridge or whatever it is, and I'm happy with it. Like there is there is this other side of craft beer that I still love, and all of these beers are a good example of it today, of just trying something new, like just trying a new experience and a new beer that is all familiar styles to me. Like I know how I feel about Pilsner or German lager, and it's fun to see what people do with it. Like I enjoy that process so much, and that goes to the grocery side too. You mentioned Jungle Gyms, and like there's a lot of people that go to Jungle Gyms as like the fun little touristy thing, and you walk in and like, oh, we're just gonna see the spectacle of this thing. One of the reasons that I do all of my grocery shopping at Jungle Gyms, unless my wife forces me to go get something at Kroger, which there are like 3 items I think that are normal items for us that we cannot get at Jungle Gyms, which is a tragedy. We'll send a letter this week. If I go to Jungle Gyms, I'm getting our stuff. I'm getting our normal groceries. Almost every single time, I'm then getting something else. I'm walking into some other aisle. I'm walking up and down. I'm finding some kind of weird ingredient, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what is this? I've never had it before. What can I do with this? And then I'm finding something to do with it, and I'm experimenting with it, and I'm trying something new. And that's the fun of Jungle Gyms, is the experimentation and the trying something new. It's like that every single week for me. And I think that idea is what I love about craft beer. Like like you can go and you can get your groceries, or you can go and you can get your groceries and get something that is familiar but different, and just see where it takes you.
Well, I also really like that they have the homebrew section at both Jungle Gyms locations.
It's shrinking.
Well, the fact that you can get everything you want online has happened ever since I was a home brewer back, almost 20 years ago. Like I went to Jungle Gyms in a pinch to grab stuff for home brewing, but I was getting stuff mainly online.
Yeah.
Even almost 20 years ago. But the thing is that, that there's at least a space, that's still something that they have. Like home brewers in a pinch can get over there and get something, or somebody who is interested in starting.
Yeah, if you were curious, you could get a whole set. You could get a whole setup right there. You can get your equipment.
Yeah.
You can get your first ingredients. Like you can get it all right there.
Yeah. So, but the attention and the curation and all that, not just to the homebrew section, but to the beer section. I mean, everything is just not as great as it was years ago. And so, but anyway, I don't know where my original point was, but I feel like we've
when you look
had a
at
good conversation, but
when you look at it one way, like we're in a really great time for variety and for experimentation and trying new things. When you look at it through a different lens, things are changing right now. Like we're definitely seeing like some of that variety and ability shrinking, and I don't think it's going away for good. I think it's all part of kind of some of the market pressures we're seeing from everybody.
Well, for sure, absolutely. And I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of stuff that you talked about earlier. Like I said, I'm gonna save them for our pod, Truth, Beer, and Consequences, like you have pulled up on the visual.
Yeah.
So thank you, Noam, and keep doing great content. I'm gonna hop off here and hang up and listen, but I think you do great content. Whether Cincy Brewcast is here every week or not doesn't matter, because when it does pop up, it's great content. You got, you know, the weekly pod, or that's the weekly show. That's not a show.
Yep.
And then you got
Drinking with the Gnome.
Drinking with the Gnome.
Yeah.
And it's great. And you've also got a lot of, you know, blog content and all that other stuff that comes up. So I love it. Let's, you know, I'm happy to be a Gnomie, and I'm excited about everything that's coming up for you. And so,
well, I appreciate it.
I will hang up and listen. So cheers, buddy.
I appreciate you. Cheers, man.
Bye.
See you later. You know, variety to me is critical to part of what makes craft beer what it is. Part of the problem of lighter lagers was that they took over the United States at some point, for a lot of reasons. But part of what makes craft beer so beautiful is that we have so many different varieties at our fingertips. We don't want it to ever get to that point where you can't find certain styles. And we're not there. We're not even close to that. I love that I can get like a random beer that I read about online. And for the most part, you can find it somewhere. Like I can go to a store and find it in packaging, or I can find it on tap that one brewery or a couple breweries have tried their hand at making it. That's different than it's ever been in history in this country. And that's a cool thing. So I think we should embrace that, and at the same time, drink what you like. It doesn't matter. Just everybody drink what you like, and enjoy the process therein. Chris, I mentioned Canadian craft beer at Jungle Gyms. I've noticed that the Canadian selection of craft beer is kind of crazily small, considering how close they are. You can get more beer that is very far away than Canada. At the same time, like imports, that whole market has shrunk so much from what it used to be. I'm pretty sure you could get more Canadian craft beer, probably 10 years ago than you can now. People just aren't drinking as much of it. But we are like twice as long as this show is supposed to be, so we'll wrap up. I'm gonna finish these Pilsners, put my feet up, maybe watch a show before bed. We'll see. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll do it again next week. And next week's going to be exciting because we'll be on the cusp of the launch of the big project that 9 months I've been working on this. So stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you guys hanging out and drinking a beer with me. If you like what I do here, if you like any of the stuff that I do, I cannot tell you enough how much it helps me continue to do these things the way that I do. If you go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, that funds all of the podcasting, all of the kind of the nuts and bolts of just me and you sitting like this and doing this thing, which I think is, to me, the most important part, but maybe I'm crazy. But I appreciate you guys. We will be back next week. Tell a friend, share the show, whatever you got to do. I appreciate all of it. Get out this week, go drink something local, something delicious, something that makes you feel good about craft beer, because it's good. We're in a good spot, not just here in Cincinnati, but everywhere. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later. For the record, yes, I am going to dump Buzzball in my beer.